and then my youngest son, I don't ever want him so he will. I can be in a lot of pain. He will not see those tears come in, and I don't know whether it's healthy or not. That's how I've been able to get through things.
Mm.
Cry by yourself.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. What's your son's name?
Ronald, my youngest
Ronald.
son is Ronald. I have an
Right.
old son and a young son. I started
Okay.
young.
Okay. Well,
My oldest son is 27. He'll be 28, and my other son, my youngest son, he just turned 5 a couple days ago. Right? Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations. Like just knowing that the difference between what you said, like what you're trying to do for him, like you keep the emotions put away from him. And like, did that, were you like that also with your oldest?
I was much different. I'm much more patient. I think the blessing is being able to understand and recognize my oldest son. I try to, just always, your man's supposed to do this and that. It's all this blubber. It's like, I wish I had be where I'm at now with my oldest son, but I am who I am, and we still love each other. It's just the fact that I didn't know anything about. I was a teenage father. I didn't know anything about being a man. My father died before when I was young, so I didn't know any other way. So I thought everything that you see, you learn, and you're like, this is how it is. We didn't communicate as much. He has a much more better communication style with his mother than me. And I know that's because they have a lot of conversations I wasn't willing to have. I'm like, I'm not going to talk about that. This is, we're men. We need to do this, right? My youngest son, I'm much more patient. He's only 5, but kids are very, very in tune with your feelings. They can tell you when something's wrong. He tells me very in tune with their feelings. So I'm encouraging him to to speak about how you feel. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about things. I don't want him to have to grow up with some of the stuff that I did. I don't want him to have to grow up with not being able to have to repress your own feelings. Let's talk about it.
Oh man, I got goosebumps there. Thank you for doing that. Right, thank you for coming to the realization of like, because I think I've seen plenty of fathers who don't come to the realization, and they still operate on that. Suck it up. I don't want to hear about it, man. Right, all the things that they probably may have been taught or that they picked up along the way. Right, and I think it has a way of passing itself down. Right, sometimes it passes down through the genetic things, and sometimes it passes down through the nurturing things. Right. Like, oh, okay, we can't talk about that kind of stuff. Okay, so I keep it to myself. Okay, but what if I really got to talk about it? Well, I don't talk about it, so I numb it, and I put it, and then when I start numbing it, then what happens? Well, hopefully I can come back if I don't go all the way to the bottom, right? And I think so many of our young people, definitely what we see in Oakland, so it's easy access to marijuana, and people are eating it eating gummies and cookies before school, and you're like,
right.
Are you even awake? Are you even here?
Right.
You're not even here right now. Where are you? And you're just like, you're numbing.
That's all they're looking at. They're looking for escape.
Yeah. And imagine how often people look for the escape, and then they've escaped their life so much that they've created a life they don't even recognize. And then they're like, how'd I end up here? Right? Because they were not present. They were in a different mindset bodies, and I think that's what I see. And I see a lot of young people. I had a young man who I was just recently talking with, having a lot of challenge with his mom. His mom and dad are not together, but he feels this disconnect from mom, like that, that she doesn't really love him, and I think this feeling of that creates this pressure on him to be like I'm a good kid. Like, why don't I get the love that I should get? And and how do you? And I don't have I don't have an answer for that, right? I'm just like, well, brother, I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I wish it was better for you too. I wish you could have it the way you wanted it, but I just want you to know that until something gets better on that end, I want you just to know that you deserve it. You deserve, right? And I think how many young men out there who don't have anybody who ever comes along to help them when they're in this stuck mode,